Leon Drew says his first Sasquatch encounter happened about 5 years ago.
I saw these, 6 foot tall, black from head to toe, skinny things cross the road just outside the headlights of my Jeep.
Drew started asking around and quickly found he wasn't the first to spot them.
Oh yeah, that's a couple of young Bigfoot in the area. We see them all the time.
His next Sasquatch encounter wouldn't happen until 2012 in Cripple Creek.
Memorial Day weekend, I was out hiking, walking out of a grove of aspens, and standing between 2 pine trees was this huge, hairy, bipedal creature.
And she wasn't alone.
Behind her, I could see there was like a group of pine trees almost in a circle. And my theory is maybe she was using it like a little playground, because I think these were 2 very young ones that were maybe just there playing.
Drew says he and the female Sasquatch stared at each other in silence for about 45 seconds. He then looked down to grab his camera, and just like that, she was gone.
And just standing there, probably with a dumb look on my face, but just amazed on what I just encountered.
He came back later to measure a branch he took note of and guesses she was about 7.5 feet tall and weighed between 400 and 600 pounds.
She was huge. Her arms hung down past her knees. Her face was partially covered with hair. Her mouth area had this gray skin tone to it, and I could tell that she was nervous and didn't quite know how to react, because I totally startled her.
That would be the last time Drew would have a face-to-face encounter, but not the last time he'd find evidence of their existence.
We had some unusual footprints appear in our driveway, probably 6 to 8 inches in diameter, 5 distinct toes, but just a round pad. And we have all the normal wildlife come through the yard, so I know what the prints look like.
Drew says sightings of Bigfoot in the region and on Pikes Peak go back centuries.
Oh, there's the Bigfoot.
Look at the size of this thing's feet.
It's got horns, like the devil, and there's one above it, too.
The Ute Indians called them the woods people. The whole Front Range, actually, is a great territory for them. Abundant food sources, abundant water sources, isolated areas.
So we decided to head back out into the woods for another Squatch Watch, this time near the Crags in Divide.
Evidence collection bags, tweezers so I don't contaminate what I find evidence. Oh, I'd love to run into another one. Now, here's something we're looking for. It's scat is probably the nicest term we'd use for it.
What does Sasquatch scat look like?
Turn around the next time you're in the ladies' room.
Drew says the Pikes Peak region is the perfect habitat for a Sasquatch.
We think that they follow the herds of the deer and the elk, so they're following the food source. There has been reports over at the fluorescent fossil beds of footprints and people seeing creatures.
As we continue through the woods, we look for signs that Sasquatches have been here.
Right here, hanging in an aspen, is a half of a tree that's freshly broke. Can you see that? And if you look around, the bottom half of that tree is nowhere around. They would almost have to be thrown from up above to get in that position. That had to be intentionally done by someone or something.
We look for tree breaks and branches in unusual formations, like X's.
Some people think that the X's are used for maybe a territorial marker or a route marker.
We also try reaching out. But there's no answer. Still, Drew believes they're out there.
Beautiful time of year for them. There has been activity reported in here numerous times. I've had my own experience with walking through our camp, so it would not be surprising at all.
Now the question is, do you?
Pay attention when you're in the woods. You'd be surprised what you see.
About 3 hours southwest of Colorado Springs is the San Luis Valley.
There you go. Big smiles, guys. Say alligator.
Alligator. And just north of the town of Alamosa, you'll find...
Sushi, anyone?
About 300.
Come on.
Cold-blooded alligators.
If anybody gets seriously injured, we just push them in and make sure there's no evidence left. Most of our alligators are rescues. So people purchase them as pets. They got too big, they couldn't take care of them. or they were confiscated by the police and animal control.
That's Jay. He runs Colorado Gators' reptile park. Our first question for Jay, how in the world do these warm water animals survive a Colorado winter?
Believe it or not, our alligators are warmer here in the wintertime than the ones in Florida are.
Flashback 40 years ago, and this place was producing tilapia.
You want to feed them? Throw some food in.
Jay says his dad, Irwin Young, was the first person in the U.S. to grow tilapia commercially.
He started this farm in 1977 using geothermal water, 87-degree water that flows from the well year-round. So this is the oldest running tilapia farm in North America.
In 1987, the first gators were hired as garbage disposals for any dead fish.
People found out about them, wanted to see them, so we opened up to the public, started showing people around. Next thing we know, people are dropping off their pet alligators.
Jay is still farming fish today, but the gators have stolen his heart.
I've got to grow up with dinosaurs and live with dinosaurs my whole life. Mr. Bo Mangles. They're like my kids. We still have some of the original alligators here that we started with in 1987.
From Denver all the way to California, he's rescuing exotic pets who wouldn't make it in the wild, giving them a sanctuary and a second chance.
They live 60 to 90 years. They get way too big for your home. There's very few people out there that have the facilities to care for a large alligator.
Jay even has a spot for retired actors. You might recognize this guy from the movie Happy Gilmore. Morris is the gator blamed for biting off Chubb's hand.
Oh boy. Well, in 2006, the owners of Morris asked us if we could take him because they couldn't handle him anymore. They had some smaller 7-8 foot alligators that they could use for the movies. Oh.
Here at Colorado Gators, they even have an alligator wrestling class, and I have a hard time saying no, so wish me luck.
The first rule of alligator wrestling is don't hesitate.
Oh my God, I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
You don't want to be a chicken. Alligators eat chicken all the time.
We've only lost one finger. Technically, it wasn't lost. I did send it with him to the hospital. I found it in an alligator's mouth, pried it out.
All right, there you go. There you go. Perfect. Nail her. Right on the neck. Don't let go. Don't let go. Keep a good grip. Nice. Nice.
Great.
Whenever you let them go, just put them in the water. Push them off away from you. In any direction but mine. She didn't go too far, huh?
Believe it or not, wrestling gators does have a purpose.
Every alligator we catch, we'll look them over, make sure they're doing okay.
Anywhere you have more than one alligator, they're gonna fight, and we have injuries to take care of constantly. Some of them are minor, just need Neosporin or antibiotic ointment. Some of them are more severe and need stitches.
And it'll keep out mud and dirt and any mess in the water, you know, any kind of bacteria that might get it infected.
Okay. That big one scares me. Ew, she's snot out of her eyeball.
Feel something bump into you, just be a tree.
We get a experience of a lifetime.
She is strong, holy crap. Oh my.
Oh, almost there.
While helping them take care of the alligator.
All right, hang on, I gotta straighten out. Go that way, go that way. Get right behind her, straddle the tail. Yeah! Get on her, get on her. Start getting your hands around to the bottom, pull up. Yeah! Give her a kiss, can you give her a kiss? Yeah!
But all wrestling and wrangling aside, sharing these gators with the world is Jay's happy place.
It gives them an experience of a lifetime. They learn about the behavior and biology of alligators, and it helps us take care of the animals. All right, guys, you get a certificate of bravery for holding an alligator today. And to prove it was a real alligator, she's gonna sign it for you. It's the best job in the world. Is that cool or what? You wanna let her sign your arm too in case you lose the paper? No?
Yeah, I just think it's such a rich history here in Cripple Creek and Victor with the gold mining, and there was so much gold produced out of this area, millions and millions of dollars in gold.
Your guide this morning is going to be Steve. Steve's going to show you what they did in the beginning, how it's done today, give you some history on the district.
All righty, there you go.
Steve Robb is a third-generation gold miner from Victor. He and his family have spent countless hours beneath the surface, all in search of gold.
Just watch your step there. And once you catch gold fever, why, it's the life that we grew up with, and I actually love it underground. Like I said, I feel safer underground than I do up here on the surface.
Rob works as a tour guide at the Molly Kathleen Gold Mine, one of the only mines in the country discovered by a woman.
Molly, she actually discovered the gold in this mine, which was pretty amazing for a woman back in those days, but it was sort of accidental.
Legend says Molly was chasing a herd of elk, but quickly grew tired. That's when she sat down and saw something that caught her eye.
She saw an outcropping of rock there, and that outcropping, it looked like it had gold in it.
The rest, of course, is history. Today, the mine operates as a tourist attraction, taking people 1,000 feet underground to experience what it was like to work as a miner.
It's all hard and very dangerous work down there, and so, you know, it's a tough life.
And those old timers back in the 1890s, they did all that work by hand, if you can imagine.
In the 1890s, it was common for miners to either work by candlelight or in complete darkness.
This is what it's like when we're mining down here. It's darker in the inside of a cow down here when you're mining, because if we had all these electric lights in here, every time you blast, well, you knock the lights out.
On top of that, all drilling and blasting in the mine was done by hand.
And then this is your drill steel, sometimes called a bull steel, and we put that up against the rock, and every time you hit it with that single jack while you turn it, and that kind of helps drill the hole out more evenly.
At the height of the Depression, miners earned $3 to $4 a day, a wage so attractive that thousands lined up for the chance to work.
And if you got killed down there, why, you know, there was no value on human life at all, hardly. And so if you got hurt down there, they just, you know, bring you out and then send another guy down to take your place.
With several miles of underground tunnel, the only way the boss could keep his workers in check would be to use this bicycle, which would take him several hours to complete one loop.
And so this is one of the richer veins of gold on the Molly Kathleen mine.
Up until 1961, the mine was in full operation until the price for gold dropped to $35 an ounce, a price too low to continue work.
So all the mines were forced to close down here in 1961, and this was one of the last mines to close down. So it was one of the longest working mines in Cripple Creek and Victor.
Although he no longer mines, Rob says being able to tell his story and the stories of those before him is why he continues to work at Molly Kathleen.
When you think about all of the rich history in this part of the state of Colorado, why, I just think I love telling people about the history and about the mining.
And right up over my head here is that 1,000 feet of ladders. If you want to climb out of here, that's the man way.
It's just me, myself, and I, solo ride.
To kind of pass the time, somebody introduced me to the Dub Smash app, and it kind of just took off from there. I mean, we talk in movie quotes anyway on a daily basis, or TV quotes, so.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
We just put that on film.
Good luck.
There are several people that actually look forward to it.
I secretly hope that he asked me to be in them. You know, I don't want to force my way in them, but I'm like, oh, I'll do it. If you want me to.
That reaction right there is why Tim Diller gives the app some credit for bringing the guys closer on the team.
It was fun in spring training. You don't really know everybody. There's new guys coming from other teams, and Dub Smash kind of broke that barrier, and some of my best friends are guys that are in every single video, you know, that I didn't know 6 months ago.
When it comes to baseball, Tim is all business on the field when he's pitching, but Dub Smash allows him to show off his personality and fun spirit through social media.
You know, they tell you what to wear, they tell you where to go, and what pitches to throw, and all that, and this is kind of a way to express yourself.
Since Tim started dubbing last April, he's probably shot more than 500 videos. He even got Rick Sweet, the Sky Sox manager, to join in on one.
Hi, I'm Al Harrington.
I just said, hey, you guys can put your arms in the air and swing them around. They're like, all right. And Rick was walking by, and I was like, hey, Sweet, get in here. And he was just like, okay. And that was it.
Inflatable arm flailing tube man.
So Tim decided to show me what it takes to make a great clip.
And just be like, oh.
It only took a few takes and a lot of laughing. But I finally made my first official Dub Smash video. The best part, watching the final product.